Is the 10X Growth Conference a scam and a waste of time? Well, in my opinion, they don't call it a growth con for no reason. I'm going to talk to you about why I think it was a waste of time. I'm going to share with you some of my experiences, and I'm going to show you some videos of my experiences as well, reflecting on the times that I went to the growth conference, about 4 years ago, 3 years ago. And so we're going to dive into that, all right? So thanks for tuning in for today's Misguided Mentors. I thought it was a good idea to touch base on this topic with so many things being out there in regards to today's Misguided Mentors. I really had a hard time trying to pick what I wanted to talk about, but I really wanted to make sure that I covered a video on the 10X Growth Con. Because it's right around the corner. I mean, we're in February and I think it's next month. So I really wanted to make sure I covered this, and who knows, maybe the video reaches some people who are on the fence about it, and maybe I can save them some heartache, save them some money, and save them the experience, the terrible experience that they're probably gonna go through if they actually went. What's up, guys? How's it going? What's up, Prince? Anybody who's actually looking and watching on the Instagram channel, I don't have that much juice left in the phone, so I just want to give you guys a heads up. The phone is probably going to die and I'm probably going to lose the video. So make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to today's Misguided Mentors. That way I can see your guys' comments. You can see the video. It's a lot better production anyway. So, and I'm going to be getting your support. So I appreciate that. So here we go. Let's jump into this. So there's a lot to unpack with this. In case you guys didn't know, I'm a former 10X business coach for Grant Cardone. I was a business coach for several years, and I've done some podcasts with other people and talking about how I've spent, almost $250,000, definitely over $200,000 on events, all his events. And that's including all the expenses it took to get there, hotels, food, plane tickets, so on, so forth. It actually did cost me a lot of money every time I went because I lived in Washington, and I'd have to fly from Washington to Florida, and I would go a few times, two, 3 times a year, whether it was to the Growth Con or some other event that Grant was putting on, the boot camp or 10X headquarters for the 10X business coach masterminds, whatever it was. I was highly involved. So I'm going to show some older videos, some older pics, and break some stuff down. I'm going to play some videos that I recorded while I was there, and I'm going to break down some of my own videos. It's actually going to be very interesting because I haven't watched some of these videos since I've recorded them. So we're talking videos I recorded 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and a lot has happened to me since then, as you may have known, especially people who know me very well and have seen my journey from before, when I started my business, before I got hooked up with Grant, before I got brainwashed and sucked into his cult. And you guys probably have seen my transformation coming out of that. And it's just been a crazy journey. And I'm really excited to be able to. I was just talking to somebody about this today. Oh, my buddy Nick. I was saying, I'm not grateful that I mean, I guess I could say I'm grateful, but I don't want to say I'm happy that I went through that experience of being in a cult, a Scientology spinoff cult. However, I will say I am grateful for the opportunity to be able to turn that bad experience into something positive and productive, and more specifically into something that's actually going to help people. So that is what I'm talking about. This is what I do this for. And that is why I talk about guys like Grant, guys like Wes Watson, Andy Elliott. If I feel like there's some red flags and some things that I've noticed when it comes to terrible leadership, manipulation, deception, scams, things like that, I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to give my opinion, and I don't really care what people think about it. So let's rock and roll. Let's get into this. When I first started going to the 10X events, that shit was very attractive. Gary Brecka was talking about this on some of his podcasts recently, but it's very attractive when you go there, especially if you've never really been into like self-development, which I wasn't. I'd never really read books. I never really, the closest I got was like watching some David Goggins videos, and then I started running all the time. So I got motivated. I guess that was my intro into like self-development and stuff. But really nothing about, I never went to events. I never networked. I never went to public speaking events. And so I never got really engrossed in it on that level. So that was my first introduction to the self-development space, and networking and public speaking was the growth conference. And it was attractive. There was a lot of raw energy. The atmosphere was really contagious. I didn't know it at the time, but it was all a bunch of fake relationships. Is people, all people were trying to do was just secure some business, form fake relationships with people so that they can get business from them. Every interaction felt like it was transactional. And if the person felt, didn't feel like they were going to get anything out of you, they weren't going to spend any time making a real relationship with you. It wasn't about that. It was about business, and a very, I don't know, dark type of sales and business approach energy, which I thought was something that I needed to start doing because I don't know, I just felt the energy and it was attractive. I was like, wow, is this what I should be doing? Like, what is everybody here doing that I'm not? But little did I know, I was already doing the right things in my business. I was actually caring about people. I wasn't doing high pressure sales. I was doing really well in my company, and I wasn't. Oh, sorry, the phone. I got to make sure the phone doesn't die so I don't lose the video. But I was doing well in my business is what I'm trying to say, and so I didn't really vibe with that pressury sales thing. The only time I really did high pressure sales was when I was 18 and I did telemarketing for a year. And unfortunately, I was trained to deceive, and I ended up deceiving. I did a good job of it, which thinking back on it now is really sad to think about all the people that I, forced into buying things that they didn't want. So now I was being taught to do that as a, 30 in my early 30s. And, yeah, it's just quite crazy to think about now. I went there, got engrossed. Once I felt the energy, started. It's a 3-day event. It's a 3-day event where you're just completely getting hit. It's a pitch fest. Yeah, they got some people speaking there. I'll show you here in a second. They got people speaking, but for the most part, it's a lot of people selling stuff from stage. It's a lot of brainwashing going on, and I'll get into that with some of these videos I'll show you, but it's really crafted very methodically and very calculated in a way to suggest you to adopt their thought process, and then the thought process that you adopt is now used against you when they come to sell you something. And they're very good at twisting things to make it seem like they care for you, and they actually want to help you in your business, but in fact, it's just a cash grab. It is really just all about the money, and it's a free-for-all. It's a wild, wild west. It's pretty wild. It's pretty crazy. So I'm going to talk about some of that stuff. Let me share my videos. Hey, guys, just a heads up. I'm going to answer you real quick. So, Charlie, you're saying never been to a GC or 10X event, but did attend one of Andy Elliott's Army events last summer. Buy $5,000, learn my lessons. Exactly. And, sometimes people have to learn that way. Unfortunately, it really sucks. And some people get roped into that for years. There's people that have been engrossed with Grant for, lots of years. I can't imagine how much money they've spent. So, anyways, just a heads up, guys, my phone is going to die. So make sure you jump over to YouTube because I'm live streaming right now. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It's called Today's Misguided Mentors. I appreciate that, but I'd love to have you transition over to the YouTube channel. That way I can see your guys' comments as well on there. So let's do that. And you'll be able to see the videos I'm sharing because you can't see it on Instagram. So make sure you do that, especially before the video drops. So let's jump on this. Let me window capture this bad boy, and I'm just gonna show you. This is crazy. Oh, what happened? Oh, that's weird. Oh, now I gotta scroll all the way down. All right, bear with me. I don't want to have you guys watch me just scroll through a bunch of videos, even though, they're kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see all these videos back in the day. But, I learned a lot of lessons too. In regards to the guy that said he learned, he spent $5,000 to go to Andy Elliott's event, and it sounds like it was a waste of time. Sounds like it was just probably the same thing. If I I can guess what that atmosphere was like. I can guess what was being done, and a lot of the stuff I'm going to cover is probably the exact same template for what Andy Elliott does too. Definitely a lot of a lot of upsells. Those events are meant for upselling. They ain't really meant to give you value. It's meant to serve themselves, serve the event promoters and the people that are all in agreement with like the event being just that. Like it's meant to drive people there so that they can brainwash you for a few days and then upsell you and then deceive you into buying the product. Like if anybody knew, if you told people like, hey, just a heads up, if you go to the 10X Growth Conference, you're going to hear a bunch of people selling stuff from stage. And then during every break, during every lunch, and then after the event, you're going to get upsold heavily. You're probably going to be drinking. If you like to drink, they serve free alcohol. So you're going to have a little bit of alcohol there. So you're probably going to be in a state of mind where you shouldn't be buying things for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 and higher. In my opinion, it's not the best time to be making expensive investments like that. But if you told somebody all these things, they wouldn't go. Like they would not go. And so let's just keep it real. The things, and I'm not saying like they should say that, but they shouldn't do it. Like if you're gonna upsell something, maybe just pitch an offer. But the way they do it is aggressive. It's like it's more framed like you should do this, you need to do this. If you don't, this is gonna happen, or this is not going to happen. What are you going to do? Are you going to stay average? Are you going to make some sacrifices? Or are you just going to stay the same and you're not going to scale your business and you're not going to be the best person you can for your family? Like there's just a lot of manipulation going on. So give me 1 second. I'm almost there. There's a couple videos that I know I want to show you. It's like, I think it's videos from the very first growth conference that I went to. And those will probably be the only ones that I show you, because the other videos at the other growth conferences that I went to didn't really capture. Okay. So all right, let me pan on over to, now that I got it. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Let's do this. I love it. By the way, this is just raw and edited. Like you may have noticed, I like doing live streams and I don't edit a lot. I just work better like that. And to be honest, I don't want to spend hours editing my videos. I just want this to be off the cuff and purely authentic. So let's check this out. We're going to watch this video. This is a video. Looks like this is when I paid for like a really expensive ticket. It was Premiere, so it was probably $5,000 to $7,000. 50 Cent was there. This is actually where I met Gary Brecka that night. And this was, let's see. This is 4 years ago, almost 4 years ago. So I want you guys to see at the beginning of these events. Let me just pan this back real quick so you can actually see me. At the beginning of these events, they literally have like a half an hour. It feels like a half hour. Maybe it's not that long. Maybe it's like 10, 15 minutes, but it's a really long time of Grant Cardone speaking. And he's not there. It's just on huge loudspeakers, a ton of production. You'll see in the video, ton of production, him talking like his quotes and stuff like that. Invest in yourself. Those who pay attention. Commit first, figure out the rest later. All this is just like the voice of God, just like talking over you. It feels like they just really set it up in that type of way. The energy is really high. Everybody's, getting hyped up for it. They're just, the stuff that they're talking about is crazy. So anyways, that's what the beginning of this is like. And that's what this video is. So let me just play it and make this a lot easier so you can see what the hell I'm talking about. This is crazy. All right. Boy, I looked a lot different back then too. So yeah, right before this is what I was explaining to you. It was like Grant Cardone just speaking to the entire room, and all these different things. He was talking about, make your problems so big, or your dreams so big they pale in comparison to your problems, and all kinds of these sayings that he has. Don't be a little bitch. All these sayings he has. 10x side effects include growing amounts of hate and envy. Okay. New friends. These I'm just reading these in case you can't read that. It says 10x side effects. In case you guys aren't watching on YouTube, guys on Instagram, it's today's misguided mentors. So if you want to jump over there and subscribe, you're going to be able to see what I'm showing you. But he's talking about 10x side effects, kind of being funny, but dead serious. This all has meaning to it. New friends, new connections, new network. By the way, when I said this earlier, it's fake relationships. It really is. Not many people that I formed a relationship. Not every one of them, but there's a lot of people I met in the 10x organization over the few years that I was a 10x business coach, and I thought a lot of them were genuine friends. But I found out once I publicly and voluntarily left, they just ghosted me. Like, it was like they didn't even want to it's like they couldn't have a friend that disagreed with them on this or something. Like they needed friends that glorified and worshiped the same person like a god, I guess. It was really weird. I reached out to some of them. They were all just like, yeah, last time I heard you were dogging Grant, and I'm not interested in that negativity. Which goes back to the saying we just seen before this. The 10x side effect was increased amounts of hate and envy. And it's like, I don't know. It was really crazy. So really culty as fuck. So yeah, friends, networks, connections, fake friends, only business connections, and sure, networking. This is all just sales and business, but it's not the type of relationships you would want in business. It's all just self-serving energy, it felt like. New problems, new challenges, new interest. New problems, new challenges, new interest. Okay. I guess that was one of Grant's things. He always liked to say, I want new problems. I want new challenges. Okay. I mean, I don't know if I want new problems. Me personally, I don't want, sure, maybe some challenges. I wouldn't say I want challenges, but I like challenges that make me grow. Sure. Doesn't mean I'm looking for problems, though. Problems are, requires a lot of troubleshooting, and I already have a lot of this in life. Why do I want to add more problems and challenges to my life? That's kind of weird to me. Okay, so this 10x is a movement thing. This is really, really culty to me as well. Don't get me wrong. I like movements. I like, but I like meaningful movements. And by the way, 10x itself, the concept of 10x, I like. It's just all the shit around this. 10x is something good that's being used for bad, and I'll explain that more later. But 10x, the whole concept is do more and you'll achieve more. Obviously, that's a good message. But this whole 10x is a movement thing. Like, how do you take that type of statement and call it a movement? Like what Martin Luther King is called a movement. What Susan B. Anthony did that's a movement. Like people who speak up against injustices, that's a movement. 10x is a movement? I don't know about that. That's a stretch. Man, the buildup is just crazy. Like shit, man. The suspense is killing me. What's about to happen already? Oh, it says don't be a little bitch. You guys don't even have to go. You guys don't even have to go. You can just watch this. Yeah, look at success is your duty. This is also tied in with the whole statement that like you're going to be a failure to your family if you don't start making some sacrifices. You start investing in yourself and things like that. Okay. Yeah, you hear this shit? This is Grant talking, by the way. This is like this is really really creepy to me. It's like it really reminds me of like the voice of God. It's just like, my God, where's this coming from? And it's like super loud there, by the way. It's hard to convey how loud it is on this video, but it is super loud. What's up, Radiate Life? How you doing? With Lorelei. How you doing? Brogan began his Lorelei Brogan. Gotcha. It was kind of hard to read in there. He began because he hides he hides his foundation as Scientology. There we go. I can read your comment now. 100%. He hides his lies as a foundation. By the way, let me oh no, that's all right. 100%. He hides. 10X is basically just a spin-off and a carbon copy of Scientology. I promise you, from my experience, the whole organization is modeled and mimicked exactly like Scientology. All right. So, and there's even recruitment going on. Fortunately, I didn't get recruited, and I didn't hear anybody get recruited. However, I've had a lot of stories of people telling me how they've been recruited, their wife was recruited, they were recruited, or they were trying to be recruited into Scientology. So there is recruiting going on there, absolutely. The average are doomed. This is actually kind of scary just watching this. Like this, it's scary in the sense that like this is the type of deep brainwashing that's going on. So yeah. So this is all just pre-facing this whole 3 days that you're going to be here. This is day one. You're seeing this. And then they do this every morning, by the way. So the 3 days, typically, if I remember right, they did this all 3 mornings. They definitely did it the first day, if I remember. Okay, maybe they didn't do it all 3 days. I can't remember now, to be honest. It felt like it was all 3 days, though. Most certainly it was the first day. Maybe it was so long the first day, it felt like it was 3 days. But this is really long. And so messages like this, like the average are doomed. This serve a purpose because a brainwashing and manipulative purpose, because now they're going to hit you with more of this narrative all day for 3 days straight. Then they're going to pitch you in between these days, and on the third day at the end of it, the extra hard on the after parties, where all the sales reps are floating around, all these 20-year-old kids walking around trying to sell you $20,000 programs. And then they start throwing this stuff back at you like, well, are you going to be average the rest of your life? Are you going to that's the whole thing, right? Like either you're going to be average or you're going to move forward and make this investment right now. So these type of sayings have a purpose. So this whole voice of God, with all these quotes, Grant speaking all these quotes over everybody, there's a very particular purpose for this. So I wanted to share this with you guys and understand what is going on in this room. Be obsessed or be average. God, this is fucking creepy, man. So be obsessed or be average. God, that is such a crazy statement when I think about it. Be obsessed or be average. I don't even know what else to say other than the obvious feelings of like, that is such a terrible saying. why don't you just be excited about something? You don't need to be obsessed about anything. Like, people get really excited about something. Like, I'm excited to write my third book. Am I obsessed about it? No. Does that mean I'm not going to finish it? No. Does that mean it's not going to turn out to be really good? No. Matter of fact, I think it's going to turn out fantastic. I'm going to stay excited. It's just a terrible message. Dominate, don't compete. This narrative actually really hurt me in my business when I was running my company and selling regularly. I ended up adopting this thought process from Grant, unfortunately, and it got me to put the pressure sales on, which was not me at all. It was not my style. It didn't feel good and it didn't align with me. So definitely hate the whole dominate, don't compete. I definitely agree the closest thing I agree with when it comes to that is, like, I don't chase people. And in order to dominate, it involves chasing people. It involves doing the dog and pony and pressuring people and all that. And that's just not my style. Yeah. So I'm going to call you Laura Lay. I'm thinking that's your name. You got a long title, so it's hard to make sure I'm saying it right. So anyway, you're saying faking one's passion to make a better world and somehow turning it and its ear is something that you have to do. You're a failure. Gaslighting. I did watch his show Helping Out Pittsburgh today. I would never have followed it had I known that it was a Scientology. Exactly. So I'm going to increase your... there we go. Got to bring this down so I could see your chat. There we go. Let's pop that over for a second. Oops. I'll get this. Actually, you know what? Let me do this right quick. In chat. Capture. Bam. There we go. Now I can see your comments and they're not over the video. Average. It's I hate when the emphasis of being average is scary. The average, you're doomed, and all that stuff. Own the space. You're either building an empire or destroying one. You're either building an empire or destroying one. What is this message? Who is this message for? Is this for just like elite high performance people that want to take over the world? Like, I honestly don't want to, I don't want to build an empire. What the fuck? It sounds like that is targeting some egotistical crowd. Like, the audience for that saying is the egomaniacs. Who wants to build an empire? You know what I mean? And rule an empire. It's just fucking weird. Like, I just want to have a happy life and be a good person and help people, not build an empire. It's fucking weird. Which will it be? Never fear the haters. Matter of fact, he encourages getting more haters, and he even said in some of the things before this, some of the quotes were being up there, some of the 10x side effects is increased hate and envy. Yet he ended up, making a post talking about how he's tired of the haters. He expressed his disinterest in the haters, right? 1 second, guys. Hey, if you're on Instagram, last chance, I'm gonna end the stream here because I'm about to lose battery power. Jump over to the YouTube channel and subscribe to today's Misguided Mentors. I'd love to see you on there in the chat. It looks like Laura Lade hopped over there, so she got the memo. But I'd love to have you guys transfer over there. That way you guys can see what I'm looking at also, and I can get your support on YouTube. So I'm going to see you guys later. I'm going to cut this off and make sure I don't lose this video. See you guys on YouTube, all right? Let me share that so I don't lose it. All right. Never fear the haters, fear those who listen. Hold up. It said, don't fear the haters, fear those who listen. So this would make sense why my friends who I thought were good friends of mine as 10X business coaches, why they ghosted me. Shit like this, narratives like that. Don't fear the haters, but fear the ones who listen to them. So here I am just speaking my mind, giving my opinion, and sharing my thoughts, and I'm considered a hater. So now people are thinking that I'm just that box, and so that makes sense why his cronies and all the other people who glorify him and idolize him would ghost me and want to stay away from me because I'm just a hater, and they should fear me because I believe the other. I don't know. It's confusing, but it's creating a narrative to actually fear the haters and fear the ones who believe them as well. And you were saying, Laura Lay, that at least when you requested to be removed from the mailing list, it was done. Scientology sends huge amounts of information to anybody on their list. Just like Grant. If you're on Grant's email list, he learned that from Scientology. If you're on, I'm willing to bet anyway, you're on Grant Cardone's email list, anybody knows this, you're going to get probably 20 to 30 emails a week. I just talked about this recently. And you're definitely going to get a call a day, probably 2 or 3 phone calls a day for the next event, for this, for that. You're constantly being sold. And it sounds like it's Scientology related. So 100%. Oh, no capture. All right, let's continue this. This is kind of funny now that I think about this. Grant always preaches this who's got my money concept, right? When it's all really about, like, he's like, you should be asking yourself, who's got your money? But it's kind of funny now that I think about it. That particular saying, amongst many of his sayings, is almost like hiding in plain sight, meaning Grant only looks at people as money. By his actions and my experience with him and the organization, that's all they think about anybody who comes into the room. So if he's teaching you to frame your mind in the sense of who's got my money, how do you think he looks at you? That's a question you need to ask yourself. And that is also why the whole room is filled with that energy of just fake relationships and being all transactional. It's like, who's got my money? Who's got my money? Who's got my money? And then you have a conversation with somebody and you realize, like, oh, they don't want my services. They just want to yap it up or whatever. Like, this isn't gonna turn into any business. So I'm good. On to the next person. It's really a shitty type of energy that's being formed there. And narratives like this, who's got my money, is part to play of that as well. And you also said, yeah, 10X will be criticized, really creating confusion. Exactly. Free thinking, that's what they're feeling. Yeah. It's, I don't know. There we go. really weird. God, how long is this going? How long has this video been going? This is just I didn't even get all of it. Don't be a little bitch. Grant has acted like, if we're going to call somebody a little bitch, Grant has definitely acted like a little bitch several times in his actions.
Bitch, what you trying to be a little bitch? You have to lead someone's being a little bitch.
Okay, so that's the end of the video. Wow. So that was a long. Oh my God, I didn't even realize how long that was. That wasn't even all of it. So I wasn't kidding. I had to show you the actual video of just a small clip of that intro on those days. So that's what you can expect. First day of 10X Growth Conference, you're going to be in the room listening to that. You're going to be hearing Grant speaking like the God. Don't be a little bitch. Be obsessed or be average. All of it's just going to be going over a loudspeaker, brainwashing you for the first half hour, seems like. So let me go on to this next video. I have to show you this because one second here. Okay, guys. All right, what was I saying here? All right. Sorry, I had a little bit of an interruption there. So you got to watch this video because this video here is a video of Grant speaking during while we were eating lunch.
Thank you.
Look, if I'm ever hungry in your city, or my kids are ever hungry, you owe them a lunch, okay? I'd rather you owe me than me owe you. So, have you enjoyed this morning?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good. So really appreciate everybody being here. I just wanted to take a moment, come by and say hello and thank you to each one of you. I know some of you probably weren't on the boat last night, so I said, hey, I want to go see the people in Premier. I know you spent a lot of time, a lot of energy, resources to get here to spend time with us. I look forward to when you're at all the parties with us, whenever you make that happen in your life, to make sure you can do what you want to do, that you're in the front of all the stages, you're at the front of the room. I remember being at a charity event once, and I was probably, I don't know, the room had to be, like that was the front of the room, and I was back here. And I'm like, and everybody in that room had given money to this charity. And I'm like, hey, who's on the front? How many of you have interest, like always, like, who's on the front?
Oh my God, pay attention to this right now. This is very slick. So Grant always does this quite a bit at these events. What he does is he basically, in a way, he does it different ways, but sometimes he'll blatantly just shame people, or he'll tell a story like this to encourage you to get to the front of the room. Well, to get to the front of his room, it cost 20x to get to the front of the room. So back of the room is usually $1,000 just to get into the 10X Growth Conference, $5,000 to $7,500 for a premier seat, and then for a diamond ticket, it can be, for a very front row ticket, it's $20,000, and I think in some cases even $30,000. So this is what he's doing with this type of story, is encouraging you to get to the front of the room and pay him more money in doing so.
How do they get in the front? That's natural. You should always have that. Who's that? How'd they get there? What do they do? And they told me, they said, oh wow, the people on the front, they gave the most money to the charity. I'm like, oh shit. What the fuck am I doing sitting back here? All you got to do is use money to get to the front. That was the big lesson.
Yeah, no big deal. Just give him more money to get to the front. You notice how he uses humor in this too? Grant is very trained. His charisma and his humor allow him to easily embed his thoughts in people and their mentality with this. But this story right here he's telling is literally just to encourage people to spend more money with him to get to the front of his room. All right. And I told you the difference. It's $1,000 in the back. To the front of the room, it's $20,000 to $30,000. So we're talking a drastic difference.
And I'm going to tell you, I've probably given, last year we gave $35 million away to charities.
All right, I'm all for people giving charities and donations, but it always rubs me a wrong way when someone starts bragging about it. I really absolutely don't like when people start bragging about their donations and their charities, because now it's just serving their ego. It's like, oh, okay, so you're saying this just so you can get accolades for it, and you can rub yourself and stroke your own image and serve your ego. All right, the whole purpose of giving a donation was to serve himself, and I fucking hate when people do that.
And are committed. We either gave and are committed over some period of time to do that. And then over my career, we've raised over $100 million for different charities. Me giving and other people helping out, okay? And I'm going to tell you something on the charity piece, okay? I don't know if Brooke's in here, but nothing has helped me more in my life than giving money. I'm not talking about homeless guy. Like a homeless guy comes up and hits on me, I'm probably not going to hit him. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to give him $1. I remember this lady in Santa Monica asked me for a quarter. I'm like, baby, I'd give it to you, but a quarter can't help anybody. Okay? When you're serious about yourself, change your ask. And so, like, if I'm going to help somebody, it's going to be with $1,000 or $5,000 or whatever I can do at that time, right? But $50.
He's not even making any sense. All right, yeah, if that was true, if someone said, give me a quarter, and he said, I'm not going to help somebody with a quarter until you change your mindset. He's basically saying he's not going to do it unless it's a lot of money. Okay, then why didn't you give the lady $1,000? Why didn't you give her $500? He's full of shit. It's a fake. He likes telling stories like that to be funny. And the reality is, and by the way, I don't know what other than to serve himself and to show off that he donated to a charity, I really don't think that he did it because he actually wanted to help or cares.
$5 just cannot change somebody's life. It just can't. But you hit somebody hard with something, or a community with something, or you put together people that can actually raise some serious funds.
I mean, if I heard this in a small room, if him saying this, I'd be like, why didn't you give her $1,000 then?
And want to actually get the money to the people, that can change things, okay? I just want to read something. How many of you like Don Peebles this morning? That was the sickness, okay? Now, this is what I've been trying to get this guy on stage. None of us really knew what Don was going to deliver because he's not a social media guy, and he's not a celebrity, and he's not a musician, he's not a TV guy, he's not those things, right? He's a conservative Wall Street guy, but by getting that guy on my stage, and I've been trying to do this for 2 or 3 years with him, he says, Grant, great event. You did the best job interviewing me, and that includes, this guy's had thousands of interviews, and that includes Larry King. You did a fantastic job.
So why is he telling this story, right? He's got to read the text, the dumb people. Like, this is supposed to be a personal text, it sounds like, to Grant. Why the fuck is he reading this out loud? Well, sounds like here we go again, serving his ego, rubbing himself, stroking his own image. This is why he's reading the text. He's like putting Grant on a throne with his interview skills. Yeah, it's so cringy. It's cringy. Let's put it that way. Let me catch up with you here, Laura Lay. You were saying, here, let me close that right quick. Oh, get you on here. But yeah, man, he's cringy with the self-serving and he's just, God, he loves himself some him. Let's put it that way. True that laughter, people open up more and at ease. Exactly. It's called fake vulnerability. I just talked about this the other day. It's to get people to drop their guard. Scientology is what he means. You were also saying all the different fronts for Scientology. 100%. It's all front. It's also an opening for him to share more about Scientology. 100%. And it's a lot of it's under the radar too. It's not so in your face, which makes it more dangerous. I always said after I realized, because you got to realize the whole time I was for the few years I was a 10X business coach, I didn't know what Scientology was, and I didn't know Grant was a Scientologist. That's pretty crazy. So somehow he doesn't talk about it a lot. Like he doesn't talk about it. It wasn't until I heard about it when I left that I looked into it, and I was like, holy shit, I didn't know what Scientology was. I found out what Scientology was, and that was even more mind blown when I realized, holy shit, this organization, the whole 10X organizations run just like Scientology. And not only that, I feel like I was being turned into a Scientologist and not being told. So it was like, oh my God, it was actually a shock. He saw misogynist. Exactly. It's Grant Cardone is one of the most cringiest guys. Let me capture this moment again.
Job on touching on race. Very sincere and thoughtful. Glad you touched on it, as most high-level CEOs, entrepreneurs are afraid of the topic. Thank you for including Katrina, and I look forward to having dinner with you in Atlanta. I'm sharing that with you. Thank you. I'm sharing that with you just to give you a hack. It's a hack. Find the people that you want to be more like. Figure out how to do something for him. Like me, I can't give him money. He doesn't need money. I can't put buying him dinner. He can buy his own dinner. This is the constant figure. How do I get A-Rod here? What can I give A-Rod? A-Rod can be with Beyonce today. Like they can go hang. Like, I don't have that leverage, but where do I have something? What can I create? What can I create that gives Don Peoples a sense of like, couldn't get that from CNBC? Okay, I'm gonna put together a couple thousand people, and they're gonna just throw love at Don Peoples. He'll never forget that. People forget what you tell them. They never forget how they felt. That's right. Okay, he will always remember Damon John yesterday. I've had Damon on stage twice. So when I saw Damon and Heather, I'm like, hey guys, I want to have you both up. Heather's like, oh my God, I'm terrified of speaking. I'm like, definitely want to have you both up. Because now my leverage now is I'm going to get Heather through it. And Damon and Heather will always anchor back and say, oh yeah, we did that thing in 2021. It's an experience, you understand? And you can't shake experiences. You can't get rid of them, okay? You get rid of COVID. You cannot get rid of a real experience in life, okay? And those are the things that we want to participate in your life in giving you. So I hope you've enjoyed the food, even though you can get that anywhere, except Las Vegas. Who was in Vegas with me last year? Okay? If you get a cold wiener in Vegas, you'd be like, oh, it's a little longer than the last one, but it's... So, like, food was a complaint last year in Vegas. I can't control the food there because it's a massive operation. But we were able to do this here and control the food and make sure you guys eat well. But most importantly, because you can get good food almost anywhere, most importantly, we want to make sure we deliver a great experience to you. So the reason I come to this room today is just to tell you again, to get a little closer to you, for you to become more real to me, and hopefully me to become more real to you. Yeah, come on, man, come on. So we love you guys. I can't say this enough time. I'll just keep saying until you believe me. We love you guys for being here, for coming here, for spending time with us, for spending a weekend with us. And we want it to be something you remember. By the way,
brother.
My friends right here. Man, I need more people like you guys. I need more people like you guys. Okay, but more, man. Like, I look into the audience. I told Jared this on the break. I said, Jared, we need more black people in the audience. We need more brown people in the audience. Okay, we need more women in the audience. We got a lot of women actually.
It's so funny because you see how this lady walks up and asking for a picture. this is the vibe. Again, this is just an ego thing for Grant. And don't get me wrong, like this is just part of that celebrity vibe, and a lot of people do this, but I mean, it really feeds him. This dude, like a lot of these people in here, though, they're paying. I'm not even kidding. I can honestly admit this. I did this as well. A lot of these people are paying so much money just to go to this event, even in hopes of just getting a picture like this with him. You see a lot of people posting pictures of them with Grant and like that, and at the 10x Growth Conference. A lot of that is just it's literally just for that small moment. Like they're not friends with him. He doesn't know them. They don't spend time together. And it's a false sense of third-party validation that people crave. Like, look, I got a picture of Grant. Yeah, he's my bud. Like, come on, please. Yeah. So let's see. What were you saying here? What's up? A progress, a high turnover rate there. Oh yeah, if you're talking about at the 10x organization, 100% there's a high turnover rate. And you were saying his best guy, Mike Bonnet, is gone. So Mike Bonnet actually reached out to me not too long ago and was actually sharing. He gave me some positive feedback and said, you seem like a great guy. And I thought that was very nice of him to, to do that. He went out of his way just to express to me that, and he said he appreciated like what I'm doing. So, I imagine he hasn't talked about his experience there, but he at least recognizes what went on there. And I'm willing to bet that a lot of the stuff I talk about, he could acknowledge and vouch for. So, it's quite interesting that, people get it. You know what I mean? The ones that hear me talking about that, they get it. Mike Bonnet seems like a solid dude. There's plenty of people who have had a lot of Grant Cardone's former business partners that dissolved. It never became. They never spoke. You know what I mean? Like Frank Kern, Ken Zelazny. There's a whole list of people that he used to be partners with, and they won't talk about their experience. It's like because they signed an NDA to not talk about it or something like that. But I'm sure they have a lot to say. Mark my words, Brandon Dawson, who is Grant Cardone's partner, they will have a falling out sooner or later. I don't know when. I don't know how. It's going to happen. Mark my words. So yeah, Mike Bonnet seems like a solid guy. Yeah, fake vulnerability, exactly. Exactly, recruiting. What is the target audience age range? What is the target audience age range? It really, if I had to guess, 25 and up, probably 25 and up. Anybody with a business, usually they're targeting entrepreneurs and people with a business or who have a lot of money to spend. So let me, all right, let's finish this video up here real quick.
And Jared's like, it's our speakers. We had a lot of white speakers this year. I'm like, dude, the entire list of speakers last year, Jared's like, we don't have any white speakers. Last year was Mayweather, Kevin Hart, Usher. And actually Kevin Hart said, man, why do you guys want to be like people? I said, white people are boring. White people are boring people to listen to. So you guys, I want your culture, I just connect with who you are. My best friends when I was growing up at school were black.
Shut up. Did he just say that? He wants more black culture. His best friends growing up were black. Like now he's pandering. Now he's, everybody says that. When someone says my best friends were black, their best friends were not black. Come on now, man. We've heard your comments over the years about what you think of the black community, man. And it's definitely, it's bullshit, dude. He looks at them like a target. So that whole who's got my money, he thinks the black community has his money.
I was better understood by that community than I was the white football players. So I was ostracized really from being one of the cool guys. And it was Leonard, a guy named Leonard, that me and him were buddies, man. And so.
What the fuck is he talking about? He has no idea what he's talking about. He's trying to say that his best friend Leonard was black and he was ostracized by the cool guys, which I'm guessing he was saying were white, and Leonard was his friend and befriended. Like, what the fuck? He's just making the story up, or it's just not what he's wanting. He's not saying what he really wants to say.
I don't know where all that comes from for me, but I really want my audience to be more diverse than it is. And that's not to exclude or say anything negative about my white friends. but I need to know what I got to do. Thank you for this. I need to know what I got to do on my end to make sure that we continue to grow this audience and grow this 10X thing. It's not an education. It's not entertainment. But I know you guys are having an experience, okay? It's not, and one of the things I'm proud of, it's not stand up and jump around, and I hope that's my Instagram. I hope we don't want it to be stand up and jump around, and we don't want it to be just educational, but we want it to be something that you can't shake. So thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. I hope you come back next year. I hope you come back as diamonds next year. We got some unbelievable things planned. And you won't know, by the way, when we ask you to do this, you will not know the date and you will not know the location. And the reason I do that is because, number one, people tell me I can't do it. They're like, then how can you sell something without the ingredients? No date, no location, and no speaker list. Because I can. I don't need to tell you all that bullshit. The people that want to be part of this.
All right. I think that's pretty much the end of what I wanted to share with that. Yeah, so that's pretty much what you can expect. And there's all a bunch of random videos on there from my old page. Yeah, so let me get caught up here. You were saying, it seems like, he probably gets compared to Tony Robbins. It really seems like the early days of Tony Robbins. Yeah, 100%. He, definitely, they're all the same, really. A lot of them they have their own way. But primarily speaking, it's all the same shit. It's a lot of, I don't know how aggressive Tony Robbins' events are. I've heard of Andy Elliott's events, and I've heard of other people's events, Alpha Con, this con, that con. It's funny. It's that whole, hiding in plain sight thing again. It's like, it's called con for a reason, in my opinion. So anyways, I just wanted to share that. I want to wrap this video, because I got to get going, but I do want to make the point that Growth Conference is really nothing but a pitch fest. It honestly is a waste of time. All it is, if you want to chase money, you want to chase ego, and you want to form fake relationships, then go. That's the perfect place for you. If not, if that's not your vibe, you care about people, you want to form meaningful relationships, you're not there to serve your pride, your self-image, your ego, then don't go. And especially, I've said this on the other videos, if you have a hard time saying no, don't go. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be drilled and brainwashed for a few days, and then you're going to be upsold heavily during this event. All right. Don't drink either. If you're going to go there and start drinking, man, the sales reps come out thick while you're drinking. All right. And they're very aggressive. The intimidation, the deception, the manipulation, the interrogation, the harassment, the bullying, the shaming, it comes on thick when you're drinking and you've been brainwashed for several days. And now you got some 22-year-old snot-nosed kid trying to sell you a $20,000 program and trying to make you feel bad if you don't, and trying to make you sound like you're going to be average if you don't come to this next course. It's always another thing, always another course to buy, always another event to come to. If you don't, you're going to be average, and it's just this shitty narrative. So don't go if you don't vibe with that, and don't go if you can't say no. If you don't have a good grounding within yourself, they're going to eat you alive. They're going to tear you up, and you're going to get taken for on a ride. You're going to lose some money. You're going to lose some things. Let's put it that way. So anyways, hopefully I helped somebody with this. Hopefully something I said it hit somebody's ears in a good way, maybe save you some money, save you some heartache. If not, if you decide to go and you see this video, pay attention to the things I talked about, and be careful, because some of the things I talked about might come up and you're going to be like, oh shit, this is what Ben was talking about. So pay attention to those things, listen to your intuition to do what's right. Stay away from the things that don't feel right. And I wish you the best, And that's pretty much what I wanted to share on this video. Who knows? We got a little bit of time. I might pop on here and do another video regarding the 10X Growth Conference and give you my experience if I come across some older videos as well. This was just something that came off the top of my head, and I was like, I got to do something on this really quick because we're getting close. We're getting close to the other 10X Growth Conference that's coming up. So anyways, thanks for popping on here, Lorelei, and giving your thoughts and your feedback, and everybody else on here as well watching. Appreciate everything you guys are doing to support me. And yeah, just keep your eyes peeled. There's a lot of things I'm gonna bring to light and help people with, particularly entrepreneurs navigating the self-development matrix, and those are being preyed on. And I want to make sure that's not happening as much as possible. So hopefully I can do that and fulfill my purpose to help people in that regard, because I can help. If I can help in that way, then I'm going to do that. And I think I owe it to people if I have that information to share it with them. So anyways, absolutely. The whole jump around, isn't that that's big at Tony Robbins? Yep. Narcissist much. You're right. And the early days were more aggressive. So it sounds like, yeah, very relative to what Grant's got going on. So yeah, just stay away. I would say any type of high pressure sales it's just not right. You should never have to pressure people into that, you know? So anyways, guys, take care and have a good rest of your evening. I'll touch base with you guys later. All right.